if it's not the correct form, which is sounding like it's not, I will send you, instead of the website, I'm just going to send you the form itself,
Okay.
the blank form, and then we can schedule a site visit. I think
Right.
if we schedule a site visit for both properties, it will be a little bit more productive so that when Bolton Youth Baseball files, then I'll be a little bit more familiar with the entirety in terms of the parameters on site.
Yes.
And then the commission, I know some live nearby there and some may frequently visit. They can go either on their own time or I can try and schedule them as well to just walk the property, to understand the distance to the resource areas and what it looks like now compared to the existing order of conditions and determination. But I will make that more concise. So I will review what you've sent me for documents. If it's not the correct one, I will send you the correct one. And I will send you the determination of applicability request for determination of applicability document for the baseball field.
Right.
Then we will schedule a site visit so we can walk and talk about the jurisdictional area of the commission and what we're seeing there. In particular, my concern is along the edge of the resource area,
Right.
where an edge meaning the edge of lawn or turf area.
Okay.
And then we will discuss it at the next public meeting, it sounds like. And in the meantime as well, I'll start looking at your other properties to see where you can start filling out the paperwork for the other properties as well as we come into summer and fall and make sure that that's addressed.
I guess
Does
lacrosse,
that
as
sound
far as
good?
sports go, would be the next hot item.
So the lacrosse field, not horse ring field, but the one near the Clinton Savings Bank. That one.
That's lacrosse. Yep.
Yes. So I just wanted to clarify. I'm talking about
Right.
the same one. So the lacrosse field is technically right now covered under a determination that was issued for the slight regrading of that field.
Okay.
They're going to fix the outlet pipe that was there that shouldn't have been within the resource area. They're going to pull that back out and reinstall it if necessary. So that field is covered right now under that document. However, yes, I will review that as well and just discuss with you and Lisa moving forward when you will want to file the RDA for ongoing maintenance of that. But right now it's covered.
They had
What it
apparently
doesn't
expressed
have,
an interest
Sorry,
in
go ahead.
going with Gatsby. That's what we've heard.
okay. So going forward, the only thing it doesn't have is an operation and maintenance plan like Memorial Field. So that's where that language is important, where the commission's not going to say, don't use this list of chemicals, at least that's my understanding, but rather we're prohibiting herbicide and pesticides like Forbush Mill, but we're allowing the use of fertilizer and encouraging the use of nature-based solutions to maintain the field. And then they're required to fit themselves into those parameters and hand you, being Parks and Rec, the property owner or manager, you have that document, and that's their proof of saying we're well within the permit on the property. And if they're not, if they don't turn out to be, or if you find out they're not, then you can change, or the commission at that point can provide enforcement because it's jurisdictional to the Conservation Commission. But again, that's why it's important, I think, to not be too specific about the chemicals, rather the broader expectation.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Right.
But that is, like I said, that is covered under the determination of applicability, but I would still suggest Parks and Rec ask them for a plan of what they're going to do for the year, if you haven't already, for that specific field.
Okay. All right. All right, thank you.
Oh, thanks, Ed. Think that kind of covers our next steps with this. I think we as a commission should really start thinking about some of the language we might want to use, the language we kind of discussed this evening, figuring out actually how to memorialize that, how we want to write that, so that we can kind of move the process along as it comes in. But do we have any other steps this evening that we can assign or we should be looking at? Or does it sound like we have our next few steps in place right now? Are there any, Rebecca, do you know offhand, are there any members of the public here tonight to comment on this or that wanted to had questions regarding this one?
I see no one utilizing the chat function and no one with their hands raised. So
Right.
my answer would be no, based on that observation.
Hand
Lynn, is your hand raised?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I accidentally clapped. I
That's-
do that often.
I was like, you're trying to get my attention, but
Thank you. I'm sorry. You guys started a little early. Last time I think it went like 2 hours later, but yeah. I was just curious. I'd love to hear the talk about, nature-based. I've been concerned about the different companies going and doing applying pesticides and other things to the property without us really knowing about it. Not just for I'm concerned about the water, and maybe this is not part of your jurisdiction, but also the children that rolled down that field and what's been put on the grass. So, I've been to the common many times after something's been applied, and just being, a regular common person, I walk on the grass, I see a lot of people walking dogs, children playing. So I just get concerned about these companies that are applying these things. So I really appreciate your taking the time to do that. I did kind of miss the conclusion about the common. Was something decided?
no,
On
not
that,
yet
or-
about the common. I need to still pull that file. The focus was on, for me anyways, the focus was on for Bushmill and Memorial and finding those documents and making sure we understood so that spring sports can get rolling. But the next is Town Common, which I have started looking at, but I haven't completed looking through that file. So that will most likely be on part of the next meeting of the Conservation Commission's discussion.
Okay. Well, I would appreciate it if we could ask Emerald Acres to not do anything on the common until, unlike the fields, it's not really necessary to be treating the common at this point. So I think, would it be possible for us to ask them not to do any more treatments until a decision is made by the Conservation Commission?
So I have to review what documents we have, and that's exactly my point, is if it allows for it in the documents, that's a document issued by the commission, so they can certainly reconsider and ask Parks and Rec to file a separate operation maintenance plan. But if it's in that document as of today, the commission can't really say you cannot do that. And what they can do going into the future, though, and again, it's not contractor specific, it's back to the general, does it allow for fertilizer, herbicide, pesticide, or is it a prohibited use on the property? If it's prohibited, absolutely. If it's not prohibited, then that's another conversation. And if it's moot on that point, then that's something that, again, Parks and Rec can request that operation maintenance and then be the check and balance.
I mean,
Does
we
that
could
make
ask
sense?
Emerald to not do anything pending your investigation of what you've learned. I regret that there was this package I prepared on January 18th with all the documents, and I know it went to our office at Town Hall, and somehow it seems to have gotten lost. But it's the collection of everything that we've learned from both companies, upon request of what their their chemicals were and what they were applying. And obviously,
Well,
here it is a surprise tonight, unfortunately.
yeah. So I do have that now tonight, or
Okay.
today I got it. Clearly, I have not had time to go through
Right.
it.
Yeah.
And I do apologize because when I read the email saying, here's the packet of information, and I saw the wonderful document you prepared regarding the history of each property,
Right.
I thought that was the packet. And I didn't think
Oh,
to ask,
okay.
do we have other information? Because that was a very sufficient document as well. So that was also miscommunication on or misunderstanding on my part. But we have the information now. And I will look through it as well as my files that I have here, including documents that aren't even at the final stages of the town common. I'd like to look at the history just as I did with the memorial field to get an understanding. And I know there was a large cleanup of the property, et cetera. But basically the conversations of the commission and the concern at the time and how they arrived at the final conclusion. But if it's clear within that final document, like I said, if something's prohibited, that's something the commission weigh in on. But Parks and Rec can certainly do or request what they want in terms of someone treating or not treating based under those parameters as well, because the commission doesn't manage and maintain the property. The Board of Selectmen, to my understanding, and Parks and Rec through the town manage and maintain that, and then I think the trust does in the trails at the back. But the reason why the commission is involved is for obviously their jurisdiction, which is the Wetlands Protection Act, the riverfront area, and then the local bylaw as well. But if there's an order of conditions that says one way or another, that's what I have to go by. That's what the commission goes by. Parks and Rec can say, there's an order of conditions that says you can do it, but we don't want that happening on the property. That's up to them.
Yeah, I mean, based on Emily's review of the documents today, I don't have a problem with saying, look, if that's a major concern, it sounds like it, we could ask Emerald Acres to hold off on, any herbicide fertilizer application until we look into the matter more deeply. We're doing that right now in a number of properties, and we can do the same for the town common. I can ask our members to do that. That's fine with me. I don't have trouble. I think enough concerns have been raised tonight that it ought to be looked at again.
Good. Linda, does that kind of answer does that give you some more of the information you were looking for?
Yes, thank you very much.
No problem at all. Rebecca, is there anyone else here tonight for public comment?
No, I'm not seeing anyone else.
Okay. Commission members kind of understand the next steps. Do any commission members have any additional questions or thoughts they want to put forward at this time? Okay, hearing none. Thank you, Parks and Rec, for showing up tonight. Thank you for all of your work on this, and we will move forward.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Very good.
All right, take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Oh, we already had a chance to go through minutes. There we go. Did people have a chance to look at the drafts for the operation and maintenance plans? This time it was Fifeshire. We had a couple good ones. And if so, do people have any initial thoughts, comments, or questions, changes they want to see to make to those operation and maintenance plans?
I'm going to make one disclaimer.
Go
So
ahead.
there are a couple of the properties that just have the heading of invasive species, but I need to just confirm where they are, because there's two properties that don't have a proliferation of invasive species, which is very encouraging, but it's not something that, because of that, I'm frequently on that property. So I need to add those in, and I expect that to be done by the end of this week. But that's just, I know that's one of the items we were focusing on, so I did include that, and that's a very quick add. And right now is the perfect time of year to go out and see exactly what's coming up. So. The rest of it should be complete.
And look at it, in reading through it, Keys Farm is all still, Keys Farm hasn't expired at all, right? That's all still ongoing?
Yes.
That-
So the property has, the open space has been turned over to the town under the Conservation Commission. So that is ours now. The order of conditions, though, for the subdivision as a whole is still certainly in place and open.
Okay.
The other item was related to these. If the commission doesn't have any significant comments or additions or things that need to be changed or incorporated that aren't already incorporated, I know, Brian, you had inquired if they could be posted to the website for public comment and viewing. And I think that if the commission's comfortable and there's no further comments, I can certainly do that, but noting that it is still draft until the commission votes to accept them. And I can do that through either a watermark or just simply a title change.
I wouldn't be opposed. I'd ask other commission members to step up if they would have any objections to it, but I wouldn't be opposed. And again, just to title it draft, say, and throw the watermark on if possible. Because these are just ones I'd like to get the public's input too, especially some people are passionate about this and may actually have better ideas than we do.
I agree.
Okay. And I think too, it allows for them to get a better understanding of, when maintaining the properties, what the Conservation Commission is tasked with, but also concerned with as they're enjoying the properties. And I think that's a good public outreach opportunity as well.
I know we were able to go through some of these updates earlier. Is there anything we haven't touched on yet tonight, Rebecca?
Oh, the only, in terms of general updates?
Yeah.
So I just want to circle back. So there's no comments on the operation and maintenance plan draft right now, aside from adding those species, invasive species. So once I add those, then I'll put them on the town website under current projects.
I did not have any other additions. Any other commission members?
Or if you need more time, let me know as well.
I'm just trying to catch up. So basically, the operation and maintenance plan that I have in front of me, one for Houghton Farm, one for Oak Trail, and one for Annie Moore are the ones we're reviewing now.
There's more as well.
There's more.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll double back and pick up the others that are there and sort of try and review those so that I'll have some input into it by the next meeting.
Okay. That's
Right.
fine. And like I said, I still have to add those species to some of the documents, and then I'll have them drafted. So after the next meeting, if with any further input, I can post them on the website. Does that sound
Okey-dokey.
reasonable?
Sounds reasonable.
Okay. And if you have input before then, just email me as well. The only other update I have, the general conservation property updates, is I've been notified by the grant administrator for the land grant that we should be receiving the hard copy documents regarding the Taggart property before Thursday, in which case we will be able to close hopefully within the next following week or two, and then move forward with everything that comes along with that, including a baseline report. And along with that, we can be planning to do an opening for the property, et cetera. But the baseline report, I would like to open it to the Conservation Commission if they would like to come out and assist with that, to walk the property. It's basically assessing the property boundaries, reviewing the boundary markers, and reviewing the site as a whole. Again, I went out and did it during the appraisal process, but we have to do it again and document it to send in for the land grant reimbursement. So considering social distancing and wanting to keep it a small group, I did just want to put that on your radar and to expect an email probably by second week, third week of April, best case scenario. If you would.
I would love to do that. That's,
Okay.
that would be fun.
I would too.
Okay, and I think this is the best group to do it. And again, I really want to keep it small just for safety reasons, but also we are going to be having the public's allowed on the property once we formally acquire it and own it. We will be solidifying trails, etc. So
Yes.
for this purpose, I want to keep it kind of small.
Yep. I agree. I'd love to do that
That
though.
was my last update.
Yep.
Excellent.
I've been dying to walk that property since day one anyway, so.
It is getting there, hopefully. Any commission members have any new business or anything they want to discuss this evening that we haven't already touched upon?
We doing anything for Earth Day? Is that somewhere down? And then we have a tree planting thing with kids.
Yep, so I actually have that for the next agenda.
Okay.
But the short answer is we are doing something, and there will be a new story walk up for World Water Day, or just after World Water Day, which is March 22nd. But Earth Day, I think Emily may have something on that too that she may want to talk about at the next meeting. But then the townwide cleanup, I did post to the town website today for conservation properties, but the same week is also the larger townwide cleanup as well.
Jeff's going to organize the townwide cleanup for our road. He's gonna be
Exactly.
He's the
I'm
mayor
on
road
that.
captain.
I'm on that. I'll take that under consideration to make sure that you're part of the plan. I think my neighbors, I've got a couple of neighbors that love to do this kind of stuff too, by the way.
We did Ballville cleanup last week when it was 60 degrees. It was a good day for it. Full bag of trash. Actually, mostly recyclable. So, Rebecca, where is the story walk going to be for World Water Day?
It will be at Fifeshire again. So I just took down the story walk that was there, or what was left of it, and then we'll be replacing the pages. And I believe not Parks and Rec, the library, Parks and Rec, and the Conservation Trust are potentially looking to put one at Town Common as well.
Dr. Seuss, by the way.
I don't know.
That's
Yeah,
great.
I'm sorry. It just popped in my head.
I'm trying to come up with an activity too for the community for World Water Day through the Bolton Local. So
Nice.
try
There
to
will
find
be a
it.
virtual look at a vernal pool or wetland as well, because I've been asked to create one again. So
to do what, a tutorial, like a webinar?
it sort of, last year I basically just, because the shutdown was so new, and last year we did a reading and then we did an activity. So
Yeah.
I did a virtual reading and then went out onto the trails and walked down to the wetland and talked about a couple wetland species and what to look for, but in as broad as I could get while still getting the point across.
Right.
Which is fun. I mean, you and I can talk offline if you want, Emily, and we can
Yeah.
talk about like hydric soils, or I don't know, something fun to get people outdoors.
Yeah. I'd like to, something that is still COVID friendly, that
Yep.
can get people outside and learning and doing a fun activity.
Okay.
And then getting
I
people
will,
over to the story walk. What book is the story walk?
I forget.
I'm not trying to.
I'll have to, so the library chooses it, and I'll have to follow up with her. But I can, when I follow up with you tomorrow about World Water Day, I'll include the story walk title too. I should know that.
All right. Any other new business? Hearing none. I'd like to go ahead and make a motion that we officially adjourn the Tuesday, March 15th, or sorry, Tuesday, March 16th, I'm sorry, 2021 meeting of the Bolton Conservation Commission. Do I hear a second for closing?
Second.
All right, all those in favor, starting with Jeff,
Aye.
Bill Payne,
Aye.
Emily Winter,
Hi.
and Rebecca, I'm an aye as well.
Wonderful. Thank you.
All right, thank you all. We will see you in 2 weeks, if not before.
Good night.
Take care.